Yeah, okay. So welcome everyone. We're just introducing ourselves and saying a few words about our meetup. If you're joining us on YouTube, thanks again and we appreciate you. Go ahead, Robert, sorry.
Sure. So we have, this is our meetup page, meetup.com/deeplearningadventures. Here you will find announcements about our upcoming events and a lot of past events as well. Somewhere down in one of these links, we have a Slack group that has been less active recently, but that should still be down there with a link. We have a playlist on YouTube that contains a number of past events, and these are organized into the various themes that we covered. We had a few events on the AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty, AWS Cloud Practitioner specialization. Those are each certifications that you can earn by taking an Amazon Web Services exam. We've had events on attention and transformers in AI. We had a long series of events on a couple of courses that are offered by deeplearning.ai. One of which is, I guess the most recent of which would be this TensorFlow data and deployment. That's an advanced TensorFlow series. Somewhere down near the beginning of the playlist will be the earlier TensorFlow course. But we also, in the interim there, we did Kaggle courses, I think in the fall of 2020. And the guest speakers, we've had a number of opportunities to chat with experts and luminaries, visionaries in the field. Lawrence Moroney is one of those. There's a number of other events there. And then I think at the bottom, our coding in TensorFlow was more of an activities focused thing, not courses. But we get together to work on a couple of data sets on Kaggle, of an image-based data set on the cassava disease. I think we did some natural language processing on the Big Bang Theory, deep learning, and the friends. We did some tabular data with the credit card fraud detection, and we worked on some time series prediction as well. We had a very fun event with Teachable Machine back in, I think that was also in fall of 2020.
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. So
super fun.
That is a Google tool that is a little bit more popularization of AI, bringing some of these learnings and providing fun for people to interact with some of these capabilities and developments on Google's website. And then, as I was saying earlier, we did the TensorFlow in practice, which was the, I guess we'll call it like intermediate TensorFlow course that was preparation for the data and deployment one. The TensorFlow in practice specialization is a great place to start if you've got a coding background and you are interested in learning about deep learning in practice. There's another really great series that Deep Learning AI produced even before they did any of these courses, which is, I think the title of it is just Deep Learning. And that was the one that Andrew Ng originally published back in 2018 or so. And George and David and I all met at that meetup where we were working through that course together in person before the pandemic.
Yeah. That was a really monumental course. And then Lawrence came along. He worked with Andrew Ng here, and they set up this really good specialization on Coursera, which also, by the way, is a certificate that you can take on with TensorFlow as a developer certificate for TensorFlow. So take the certification, take the specialization, take the exam, and you earn this developer certificate, TensorFlow developer certificate. And back in the days, it was like a few hundreds of developers around the world. It was so sparse. Hopefully now it's a few thousands or hundreds of thousands. But yeah, as you can see, the variety is there. So yeah, Robert, I, and David started this community. We're happy to have events throughout the year. Again, we took a little bit of a break last year, and actually this year we're a little bit sparse in our events, but we're happy to be back. Cool. So
I will add to that the theme of our events has largely been learning together as a group. We've generally had a pretty small group, whether before the pandemic in person with the other group or with this one. I have found it super useful to help motivating with these learnings as as we see these days, there's so much to learn online, so many different courses and different paths that you can go down. And I find that I start a lot of things and don't necessarily finish a lot of things. But having a group like this where you're meeting with the same people and working through a topic over the course of 4, 5, 6 events can be really helpful in getting things done and helping you work through any issues that you encounter going through the course yourself. Definitely help each other through various modules.
It's a good point. Yeah, accountability, right? Because you might start a course, you might be like, okay, this is fun. You do it for a week, 2, and then like, okay, life is getting in the way, work, business, whatever. And they're like, maybe I should drop. Like, no, here you're accountable. You're like, okay, this week we're going to talk about this module. Next 2 weeks we're going to talk about the next module. It'll be nice to hear from you, so you have a little bit of incentive to contribute and keep going with it. And that worked really great for us. I think that's this team collaboration, and you also like hearing from other people's perspectives what they think, because a lot of this is like basically math, programming, a bit of science, a little bit of art sometimes. I don't know how to call it, but has multiple perspectives. And as you know, people in data science, they don't come just from one path. There's multiple paths they come to it. So everybody brings something. Cool. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for that feedback. Any comments, questions, feedback from anyone?
You forgot to throw in that every now and then you throw in a fun activity.
Tell me more.
Like talking about your travels.
Okay.
Or having a happy hour.
Exactly. Yeah, we do that too. we do that too. Sometimes happy hour. Robert actually has performed in one of our happy hours. He's a musician as well on the side. Yep. Really good piano piece there that YouTube thought, hey, this is a copyright or something, right? Even though it was from a few hundred years ago.
Yes, we managed to get taken down on YouTube more than once. So I think we got taken down for some of the friends model that we built to predict emotion. We played a couple of like 10-second clips, and that was too much.
Yeah, well, look at that. So yeah, and actually Robert and you, Neil, worked on a really cool project on age detection, right? So you worked on a bike project.
Bicycle safety.
You want to share more a little bit about it?
Yeah, we worked on a project, gosh, it was like 2 years ago now, to use machine vision to create a bicycle safety device to help a cyclist detect a car that's approaching and warn them. We used some of the kind of TensorFlow light, edge type machine vision stuff. So that was fun, real project that we were able to build a prototype and test it out.
So this would be a small camera that you attach behind your seat?
Yeah, it was a small camera and it was a Raspberry Pi with a Google Coral, which is their edge device. It's got a small TPU in it, tensor processing unit, and then we were able to build something that was small enough to fit into a saddlebag on your bike, and you could ride around and we have recordings. Actually, there's a YouTube video on it.
Okay.
I think we actually did a session on it.
Yeah,
we did a session on it.
It's in this page here somewhere.
Somewhere here, we need to find it. Okay, maybe it's
the device was called the CarBack.
Yeah.
CAR-BAC.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the challenges that we faced doing it was a lot of times you'll be passing parked cars, and you want to be able to reject those, so you're not necessarily flagging every time you pass a parked car. So the algorithm just basically detected cars in the rearview mirror, and then detected looked at the series of video, is this car getting closer? We had some kind of a threshold that would alarm when it said the car was getting closer.
Exactly.
It would just flash a little light.
Exactly.
You can imagine using it to, even if the car is getting too close too fast, you could hook it up to some other more powerful light and actually get the driver's attention or something. We didn't go there.
We may do more with it.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Okay, thank you for the feedback and the comments here. I appreciate that. I think it gives an idea to people, especially those who are joining us for the first time, of some of the cool stuff we've done. Okay, so in interest of time, you heard a lot about our previous sessions. Feel free to check them out. In today's session, we have actually the recording. We started with 2 podcasts from Sam Alpan, Greg from OpenAI, as well as Sundar Pichai on Google. So both Google's perspective and OpenAI's perspective on generative AI, how they're approaching it. So it's a really good podcast. Feel free to check them out if you want to give us a good feedback on good introductory point to large language models. And then deep learning AI, actually, we're using the resources today, so I want to make sure that I give them credit. They have this, in addition to their specializations, which we've taken as a community in the past, they have something new called short courses. And the one we're going to talk about today is this one here called ChatGPT Prompt Engineering for Developers. Sounds very developer, oriented. Trust me, it's not. It's pure. If you speak English, you can code. It's that level. So, yeah, Andrew collaborated with Lisa from OpenAI, and together they did a great job of introducing ChatGPT, but from the API perspective. Most people are usually properly familiar with the front end of it, ChatGPT. You can ask questions, you can get answers. This is using it as an API and really integrating it with your use cases. So deep learning AI has more. We plan to go through all of them. So if you're curious what's coming up, this is one of them. They have also something on LangChain, which is a framework for developing large language model applications and how to interact with your data, how to do fine tuning, and then something from I think this is from Azure, semantic search. And they also have one collaboration with companies like Weight and Biases, Radio for building UIs, one on image, picture, computer vision, and they have one on. They keep releasing new ones. I mean, it's hard to keep track with them, They one in collaboration with AWS. I remember that. It's called generative large language models. And our friend meetup in San Diego, they're going through this course right now as we speak. So over time, we're gonna sync them.
I think I'll correct you. We're not going to go through all of them because they're going to release courses faster than we do them.
Let's see. Don't challenge me, Robert. No worries. But yeah, today, let's see how much we can cover. In the topic here, I have some interesting, bullet points that we can talk about. But really, what we did is we took the course, we developed a notebook which I shared in Meetup, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. For those of you who joined us in person, this is something for you. And then, yeah, this notebook, again, it's on our Meetup page. Links about us, YouTube page, myself here at the National Association of Lead Authors. By the way, thank you to NAR, the place that I'm currently Director of Data Science, for hosting us. The place is beautiful. I'll give you guys a tour later on. But thank you, yeah. I want to make sure I have some colleagues online here. I want to hear that. Cool. So as I mentioned, this is the course, ChatGPT for Developers. And really, I think the main theme was we have this base large language models, which are really good at predicting basically the next word. So they're really good at analyzing English vocabulary. They have also expanded other languages, but they've been trained on giving them large contexts of text, unsupervised learning in the context of unsupervised learning where you just hide words, you mask words. So you give it, once blank a time, there was something. And their job is to try and predict that missing word. That's one training paradigm that they've been going through. So they're basically really good at parsing text. They're very good at trying to understand some concepts. They're really good at, I don't want to say that maybe memorizing some things, since they have so much capacity, so many parameters, so much bandwidth, that you can ask things of the nature, like what is the capital of France? And if that text or question is very similarly posed in the context, it will be able to answer it. But if it's slightly different, it might not be able to answer it. That's what I gather, right, Robert?
Yeah, I think the message here is that because these models are just tuned on text that it finds on Wikipedia, it's always trying to predict what is the most likely thing that I would have seen next in the data. So when it gets a question like, what is the capital of France? There's not that many times when you'll see online, what is the capital of France? The capital of France is Paris in the next sentence. More likely, what is the capital of France might be posed in a quiz, like 10 geography questions or something. And that's what they were saying when they ran the model without any kind of tuning. You'll get what is the capital of France, and then instead of answering the question, it'll just throw another question back at you, like what is France's largest city?
Is that fun?
But then if you tune it with the various instructions, you can actually get it to engineer it to answer the question.
Exactly. Yeah, so the fine tuning is, or the instruction tuned process is where things get interesting. So especially when you have humans in the loop. So they have this interesting concept, which I'm hoping we get to take a deeper dive at some point, of it's called reinforcement learning with human feedback. So the model, you give a task to the model gives you an output. You have a human scoring the model output from, say 0 to 10. And based on that human output, the model tries to maximize human feedback. So it's trying to be very user-friendly. So yeah, if then you ask her what's the capital of France, capital of France is Paris. Should be able to answer that question. And I think this is really good. I mean, it is even now a good active research area. So maybe we can read the initial GPT papers in the community and see what we can glance from it. Cool. So for this, from a hands-on perspective, that was the theory behind it. We're going to need an account with OpenAI, and OpenAI has this really good API, which I highly encourage you to check out. If you go to their website, they have a quick start tutorial, they have some examples, they have things on embeddings on their main product, which is generative pre-trained transformer, speech to text, image generation, fine-tuning, and all that. And then what you're going to do is actually you're going to go to your account, and you'll do your view API keys, and you create a new key, and you'll use that to basically interact with GPT. And then in the back end, if I go to their my Zoom controls here, their GPT, they have different models. So they have GPT-4, GPT 3.5 Turbo, previous models, and some legacy ones. So you can really select which model you want to use for what purpose.
One of the nice things about the course is that you do need to do this stuff if you want to run it offline on your own, but you can run through the course. They provide you an environment where you don't have to download a key or anything. They just give you access to the software for the notebooks that they create.
Yeah. So
you can run and experiment with it in their sandbox without worrying about getting a key yourself.
I like that, yeah. No need for API keys for the course. Yeah, if you do it on your own, you need one. So as I'm sharing here, you log into API keys, create a new one, and then let me zoom a little bit more here. So then the next thing you're going to need is OpenAI library. We're doing this in Python in Colab. So you're going to need the library. You need to import it. I just use this place enter API key function here, and I'm setting it up in the backend so that anytime I use the OpenAI module, the API key is set. And really the main function we're going to use throughout this notebook and throughout the course is this custom defined function here, which takes a prompt. It's called get completion. Takes a prompt, takes a model as an input. In this case, we're going to use GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is I would say a more efficient, less expensive model. So they figured out how to customize GPT-3 or 3.5 in this case, how to make it faster and how to make it more affordable. And that's what they're exposing to us. The messages, as you'll see, is there's a concept of a role, and there are two roles we're going to see. One is the user, one is the system. And in this case, we're setting up the role as a user. We're the user. And the content will be whatever prompt the user enters. And that prompt could be anything from a question to write me a book, from very simple to very complex. And here we're just using this OpenAI module. They have a chat completion endpoint, and we're creating a new endpoint here, a new method create, taking the model as input, the messages that we're passing as the user and the content, and this temperature. if you look at the documentation, this basically means how creative or how deterministic you want your model output to be. So yeah, temperature 0 means try to minimize the randomness in your model output. I think it goes up to 2, I think. Yeah. So
I don't know if there's a maximum.
There's a max, yeah, that you can set it up that the higher it is, the more, I want to say creative, in some cases very, very creative, the output can be, and that's something to keep in mind. So this is just something to, if you want to look at HTML within Colab, this is just a wrapper file that just does that, so nothing to worry about there. Cool, so I have an outline here actually, and this is the same outline that the course goes through. We can go over them. Really the goal here is to learn what I call this guiding principles. I think that's how Andrew and Lisa set it up. So guidelines for prompting. One is so use delimiters to clearly indicate what is your input. I think you should be very clear with how you use delimiters and how do you specify what is the prompt and what is the actual input. So in this case, let me zoom in a little bit more. This is just a generic text. And then, so you should express what you want your model to do by providing instructions and that are as clear and specific as you can possibly make them. Don't confuse writing a clear prompt with writing a short prompt. Clear is very important. In many cases, longer prompts provide more clarity and context for the model, which can lead to more detailed outputs. So, yeah, don't be scarce with your words, I'd say, but be very clear, very, very clear. Almost to like talking to somebody. I would say from almost being like in a legal setup. I don't want to say like how do you like where you're very verbose and you're very careful what you say and how you say it. Yeah. How do you describe it?
I think that's a great analogy. I hadn't thought of that, but where you're using lots and lots of words to be unambiguous, and yet you're repeating yourself numerous times to get your point across.
Yeah.
It's not the way that you would talk to people.
Right. Right. It's almost like, for the record, I want to make sure that this is tracked. Or for the record, I want to make sure that, this is coming across.
Yeah, it's almost like you just have to say the same thing 3 times. Excuse me.
Yeah.
3 times in order for the model to understand that that's what you really want.
That's what I got as well. And then.
Does that affect the cost? If like we use more words to explain what we want, would that like be cost more money?
Will cost.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because it affects something called the context window. So all this model have a concept of context window. Let's check it out. There's a nice table here, which I'm trying to find. It's under GPT. Models. I think it's yeah. There you go. So under different models, you have the concept of max tokens. So in this case, we're using 3.5. There you go, turbo. So you're introducing a concept called tokens, and tokens actually I have tokenize. The tokens, think of them as chunks of the word. So is an example. Right. X 0. Hello. Hi. So you can see here different colors is a token. So this, especially popular parts of the word or popular sub parts of the word, will be a token. Space is also another popular token. Space and is also another popular token. Space, you'll see spaces everywhere because in English we use spaces to have delimiters for our words. So space and a word or part of a word will always show up. Period is a token. Right is a token. Some text. I think most of them are.
Add the word. This is an interesting example. I think that might split.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all one token too.
Hold on. Let's use this one. How about this? Many is one, words map
There we go.
one token, but some don't. And see the don't is one, and that is another one.
Do not.
Negation, right? Invisible is like 3 tokens. Unicode is 3, yeah. Right, you see, right? Emojis, I don't know. Doesn't know them. But yeah. So this is 64 tokens, 252 characters. So I'm saying this because when we're looking at the models, they have this concept of how much information your prompt and the response can be. So these models combine both the prompt, their own internal analysis, and then the output. And that cannot be more than, in this case, 4,000 tokens. So let's say, I don't know, 3/4 of that, maybe 3.5K words. And different models again, there's one 60K one, which is quadruple that.
I mean, I think with data that I've seen, typically there's about 4 characters per token. So
yeah, they say it's about 3/4 of a word. But yeah. So to your point, cost is there as well. Cost is actually per cost.
Like, I don't know, like, I'm just getting myself involved into this ChatGPT. Like, I need to learn that. I understand that, like, they charge you by tokens, so the challenge is to, like, try to come up with the right prompt that gives you the right answer with the less token possible kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to try to reduce the cost.
So the model we're using is this 4K one, and it charges you $1, 2, 3, $1 is it per 1,000 tokens? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
No. So one,
Like,
right? 1, 2,
like 1K tokens. Okay. Like 1,000.
per 1,000.
$1.54 million.
yeah,
Let's do it.
That's better.
Yeah. So $0.00015 per 1K tokens. So
That's $1.54 million.
$1, yeah. So times 1,000 that, yeah, $1 per million tokens. So that's on the input side. And then on the output, it's a little bit more. Usually the output is a little bit more than the input.
Also, they charge you for a prompt and for the output.
Yeah.
I thought it was only for the output.
No, they can. Yeah, they have both. Yeah. The older ones, like, it's the same. It's the newer ones. It's usually like way more expensive on the output than the input.
So you're supposed to have your prompt really figured out.
Especially if you're like, you are a big company.
Yeah.
Like for us, I don't think, like if you are in the individual just doing it on your own, I don't think that matters that much.
No.
But when you are like a large company, like let's say, no, I'm not gonna mention any name here.
That's okay.
But like it might get really important to be smart about this.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it's a fine balance between how short you want to be, but also how expressive you want to be with your prompts. I'd say don't worry about cost. I have some screenshots about cost. This whole concept didn't cost me more than a couple of dollars. So,
I mean, that's the good point about like having a trade-off, because also if you like your prompt is not efficient enough, then it's gonna be wrong.
Exactly.
And it's gonna end up costing.
you could run another one.
just another one, and another one.
Exactly, yeah. So that's one concept, and it's, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned them. We're going to see them later, but yeah, cost is there, tokens is there. You can ask these models to give you the output, not just in English, but it could be in like structured format. It could be CSV, it could be a JSON, it could be other file format. So in this case, generate. So it will generate a list of made up book titles along with their authors and genres. So give it to me as a JSON format, and you can be very specific about the keys, book ID, title, author, genre. So this person or this book, this book, this book. This is useful, from like a developer perspective. You can ask it to make your output consumable by another app. You can give a text, in this case, how to make tea, and you can say, this is the prompt. You'll be provided with text delimited by triple quotes, which is this. It contains a sequence of instructions. Rewrite these instructions in the following format. You'll be very specific about the format. If it does not contain a sequence of instructions, say no steps provided. And if you read here, it's like make a cup of tea is easy. You can get some water boiling. I'll put a tea bag in it, hot enough. So it read it and says, step 1, get some water boiling. Step 2, grab a cup. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you give it another input that doesn't have sequences, you'll say, no steps provided. Right? So this is good, like if you want to print it out and put it in your fridge, maybe for your kids or something, like, hey, do this step-by-step guide. Another one is this idea of few shot. You'll hear this a lot in large language models. The idea of zero shot, meaning you don't give any examples to the model. You just tell it to do a task. One shot is examples. One shot means you give it one example, and then you ask it to do a similar task. Few shot, you give it some examples, and you ask it to do a similar task. So in this case, your task is, you're clear what would you like your model to perform. So your task is to answer in a consistent style, and then you have this child, grandparent, you teach about patience, and the grandparents says something about rivers, and the point is to teach something about patience to the child. And then the prompt starts with teach me about resilience, and then the grandparent or the model output will be, okay, it's like a mighty oak tree, stands the storms, it bends but never breaks. So you learn from that example, right, and generate that output.
If I could ask a question.
Yes, please.
Is there a tipping point by which you would want to fine tune a model such that it understood the context that you consistently want to use? Or is it just a price that you pay for every request to have to provide that context?
I'm not sure I fully understand your question. Are you talking about concept, or are you talking about something else? Say it one more time, Bill.
Yeah, sorry. The context, for instance, if I want to analyze a large amount of articles, I'm going to give specific instructions saying how I want it to analyze it, but that instruction is going to be the same for every single article that I pass through. Is there a way of using fine tuning to teach the LLM, this is how I want in future, without having to have such a large context that I pass in?
Got it. Yeah, that is actually called, you can do that basically the same task, but for multiple, in your case, articles. In our case, you'll see reviews. You can ask the model to do an analysis on text reviews, but you can ask it to do the same analysis on a list of reviews. You'll see that. I think you can do that.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be
that is one of the applications. One of the best use cases for fine tuning is getting your outputs to look in a particular way, right? In a particular style. That's one of the ones that they talk about fine tuning for.
Awesome. Cool. So that was guideline number 1, which is guidelines for prompting. Provide clear and specific instruction. Principle number 1. principle number 2 is now give model time to think. And what does that mean? So not just letting it run, but you want to be a little bit very specific what you're asking. I think that resonated with me. So so you have a text, and it could be anything. In this case, it's just a story. So they went on
This is a nursery rhyme that's been
is that what it is?
translated into very
Okay.
boring prose, I guess.
Okay.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water.
Okay. Good. Looks like it's something. Okay. You know this as a kid, I guess, right?
I might have known it as a child. I don't know the whole thing now.
Cool. So what is the prompt? You're asking you to summarize it, okay, with one sentence. You can also be very specific how you want the summarization to look like. You can ask it anything from the translation side, and this is really cool, right? You can just say translate the summary into another language. So you can say translate it to French in this case. You can also do extraction. You can say extract me the names of the entities mentioned or the people mentioned, and then create a JSON object that has the summary and the number of names, and separate your answers with line breaks. Okay, so we do that. So this is the summary. They went on a quest, encountered misfortune, trips on a stone. They return home, remain undeterred. Their adventurous spirit. Woohoo! Now this is the translation in French. And third one was remember list each name in the French summary. Jack and Jill, in case the names don't change. And then JSON in case you want to consume it by another application. This is a summary in French, and this is the number count of names. Right? So pretty powerful tasks, all back to back based on a single input.
So I think this example doesn't really illustrate the power of the concept that they mentioned in the course, though. One of the challenges that these large language models face is sometimes people will ask them to do very complicated things, things that take a human multiple logical steps to think through, like, how do I solve this problem? And the language models often don't take the right steps, but they can take the right steps if you tell them in the prompt. Like, if I want to solve for a particular variable in an equation or something, you might have to tell the language model, subtract the constant term, then divide by the term that's multiplied, right? And it might get the correct answer then, even though it wouldn't get the correct answer otherwise. So this one here is, like, the example does contain multiple steps, but they don't quite build on each other in a logical way, the way, like, where a language model might struggle with solving a complicated problem that a human would just intuitively know. These are the steps that I need to take without having to be told.
Yeah. Then you can be very specific about the formats. Again, the same one. Now in this case, you want the text, the summary, translation, the names, and the output JSON. It's just the output format. And then this was an interesting one, right? So this had a little bit of math behind it. And large language models, from what I've seen, are not good at math. So don't trust, please. They've all been exposed to English language, which has math in it, I guess, but they haven't figured out the rules of math yet. I guess models are being, created to do really good math, or just call it math calculator. But yeah, in this case, I'm building solar power. So, okay, so what is the task? Determine if this solution is correct or not. Okay, so this is the question. We're building a solar power installation, and I need some help with the financials. The land costs $100 per square foot. Solar panels are $250 per square foot. Maintenance for this solar panels are $100K per year, and so it wants to, and then, so that's the flat rate, but it also has an additional per square foot rate. So what is the total cost for the first year of operation as a function of the number of square feet? Okay. And this is the student solution. X could be the size of installation in square feet. land cost, remember it's 100 per square foot, so 100x. Solar panel, 250 per square foot. Maintenance, there's a flat fee, plus 10, if you see here, per square foot. Put 100 here. Total cost, you add them up. That's a lot. Exactly. Uh-oh. And the model says, yeah, this is correct. They correctly identify the cost for land, panels, maintenance, and da-da-da. So, yeah, sure. Don't use it. Don't use pure math or taxes.
Could I give one that's like might be in elementary school?
Yeah.
Like math conference problem. So like in May, I tended to talk about Professor Pushing Low input this problem I think it was like the wording. I don't know what wording exactly he was. Doesn't matter. It basically using only 2 positive integers less than or equal to 10,000. What's the largest possible fractional value that is less than a half? Okay. Or it might have been what's the smallest might have been the reverse
So
smallest greater than smallest fraction greater than half.
I've seen if you've seen performance of GPT models, they usually have some base performances first grade math, second grade math, and all that. So I'd be curious to see, maybe the format is very specific there. It's not as complex as this one. Maybe the format is, if you solve this equation, it could be a simple linear equation and it's optimized for that.
I've seen GPT-4 be a lot better at math.
Yeah. I mean, of course, every model will be better at math, but
Yeah, just a lot better.
Right. That's
Still.
not the right approach, right?
Yeah.
Just call it calculator. Cool. Okay, some limitations, right? This is great, but then this is where things get interesting. So this company, I don't know, is this like a West Coast company? I don't know, am I saying it right? This real company, the product name is not real. So tell me about AeroGlide Ultra Slim Smart Toothbrush by this real company. This product does not exist, by the way. But if I was working with this company, I'm like, whew, that's something we can build. So this toothbrush, is technologically advanced. It provides superior brushing experience. The company is known for sure for innovation. And this toothbrush is no exception. One of its features, now it goes to the features. Ultra slim design, It's only 2 millimeters thick. Making it thinner than traditional toothbrushes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It also incorporates smart technology. They made it a smart toothbrush. It connects to your mobile apps. You have Bluetooth.
Oh my god.
Tracking your habits, receiving
That's so
recommendations. I mean, the list goes on. Soft, bristles, thermoplastics, you name it. I mean, if I was CEO, I'm like, why haven't we built this? Battery life, you name it. So yeah, don't just you tell it to create something more creative.
Yeah.
Beautifully, if I may say so, right? Cool. So yeah, that was the first part, and then the second part is now around Ms. Andrews, I say it's rare that you come up with a perfect prompt the first time. Usually you come up with something, you see the model output. That's not what I had in mind. You tweak something, almost there. You tweak something else, almost there, until you actually get a good output. So there's an iterative process here that they recommend. Okay, so for example, we have this what is called a product description. So it has the description of a chair. It's beautiful mid-century inspired office furniture. So the chair comes in different color, base finishes. It has a plastic back. Chair is available with or without armrests, home or business settings, qualified for contract use. It's made of aluminum base, has pneumatic chair adjust, dimensions, comes in different dimensions, or actually in one setting. There are some options, soft or hard. Options there, seat, tone densities. I mean, you name it. It's basically, I don't know, if you go to IKEA or something and you want to look at the text sheet behind it.
Yeah, data sheet.
It doesn't tell me anything unless I said, test it out. But the actual designers, this is what they have produced.
It's like a data sheet.
That's their documentation, right? On the borders in Italy. Okay, cool. So now your task is to help a marketing team, right? You want to sell this. Right now it's very cold, right? Very stale. So you want to create a description of this product for a retail website of a product based on technical fact sheet. You want to create the right product description based on information provided. But you're a little bit, again, you're a little bit vague, if I may say so. Here you're saying, all you're saying is create a description for a retail website for a marketing team. So let's see what it came up with. Introducing our stunning mid-century inspired office chair. You know, one of its standout features, with or without armrest, that is true. 5-wheel plastic coated aluminum base, okay. When it comes to dimensions, it actually mentions the dimensions. We understand every space is unique. You try to add a little bit of flavor here. You know, we have choices for armrest, yeah, or foam densities, material, probably made in Italy, known for, and then goes to rabbit hole about Italy. Upgrade your office, you know, this is the sales pitch with this. So what is the issue, right? The text is too long, right? You can see it's so long, like, okay, cool. I don't know if the website can fit all that kind of. So let's fine tune it a little bit. So the same part, the same ask, the only difference is this, use at most 5 sentences. So you'll try to condense everything. Use 5 sentences. Maybe some things are lost in translation, I don't know, but yeah, not super silly, right? I wouldn't click on this ad if I saw it. Maybe focus on the wrong details. Let's see. Again, I want to make sure the message come across. The description is intended for furniture retailers, so should be technical in nature and focus on the materials the product is constructed from. Use at most 50 words. Okay, introducing this chair. Various cell colors and base finishes. Good. You didn't give me all the options and all the numbers and all the settings. Versatility. Good. Thank you. Plastic and full range of fabric. Aluminum base. Made in Italy. Okay. I think I can make this work. Huh? It's getting better. Yeah. Maybe I need this. At the end, I need a table that gives me the product dimensions. It should have 2 columns. The first have the name of the dimension. The second one, the actual measurement of it, and then give the table a title. Show everything as HTML, and there you go. So boom, it will create this for you. And then let's upload it. And this is the HTML product description. Yeah, as product dimension. There you go. So that way you can actually, I don't say copy paste, but put it on your website. HTML. All right, so usage. Yeah, we mentioned about usage. I want to keep an eye on this. So when I started, I had 1 cent so far. I'm like, okay, cool. I've done a few prompts. I'm not bankrupt. We're good. Keep going. And I added some money. I added like $100 before this. I'm like, let's see. Hopefully I won't use it all in this notebook. 1 cent, great. Let's keep going. Summarizing. This was a good one, and large language models are really good at this. They're really good at taking long text. The text is different. It could be a review, and they're really good at summarizing. So, you know, I got this panda toy, my daughter's birthday. It's soft, super cute, friendly look. It's a bit small for what I paid. Could be other options that are bigger for the same price. That's negative. It arrived a day earlier. That's positive. I gotta play myself before I give it to her. Okay, your task is, I think this has been like the theme for many prompts, right, Robert? What do you think?
Yeah.
Like you want to tell almost like a, I don't know, like a young person, your task is, you know, ignore everything else. Right? Yeah. To generate a short summary of a product review for our e-commerce site, summarize the review below in at most 30 words, and give the product review, which is this one. Okay, this Panda Plus toy is loved by the reviewer's daughter, but they feel it is a bit small for the price. Okay, that's why I give it 30 words. I don't like the words limit. Did you play around with it?
I did.
Yeah.
Generally, the language models are just not good at sticking to a words limit. They get close.
They get close.
You say use at most 50 words, and it'll produce an output with 53 words or something.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but I think giving word limits is a bit weird to me. I would give like sentence limits maybe.
Yeah.
I think it has more meaning behind it. It keeps more context than just words.
Mhm.
And that has been my experience.
You can specify any of those, though.
Any of those, yeah.
Sentences, characters, words, paragraphs.
Right. So now you wanted to summarize with a focus somewhere, right? I don't know. Maybe you're focused on the support side. Maybe you're focused on the shipping side or the delivery side. So you're saying, give me the same summary in 30 words, but now focus on any aspect that mentions shipping and delivery, or price and value. Okay. So it will focus on that. Another thing you can do is you can do extract. So you can say extract information relevant to shipping and delivery. So shipping department, actually your task is to extract that information from product and give feedback to the shipping department. So now the audience is different.
Mm-hmm.
So the shipping department should take another product right a day earlier than expected. Thank you. And this is where I think Bill, you mentioned something about multiple items. So in this case, we have multiple product reviews. So we have the same review, product review. We have another one for a standing lamp. Arrived in 2 days. The string to the lamp broke. It was easy to put together. They sent a new one. Add the missing part. So a little bit of assembly required here. Electric toothbrush. The battery life seems to be impressive. Plug the charger. The head is too small. Yeah. Reasonably priced. And then another one, blender. So they have the price of it anywhere between 80 and 90. So long review here. Oh my God! Look at this. Somebody likes to write. Avoid adding too much ice. Acquire the overall quality is gone down. Yes. Yeah.
So the long reviews are always the negative ones.
Yeah, this is a good one. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 reviews, and you're running them in a loop. So I mean, in this case, you're actually reintroducing the prompt, but your task is the same: to generate a short summary of a product and summarize it in at most 20 words. Okay, so from all those reviews, that's what we got. The toy, small and cute, but small for the price, arrived early. So that's one they think. The lamp, fast delivery, excellent customer service, easy assembly, highly recommended. Well, I didn't pay full attention to it, but I guess they highly recommend it. Toothbrush, impressive battery life, I remember that. Criticized small brush head, I remember reading that too. And then the reviewer found the price increase after the sale disappointing and noticed an increase in quality. Okay. Right, so you don't have to read whole paragraphs. That was a good one. There's some cops there. The water, come on. Then inferring.
I guess we should note that it's 8:15. We prioritize certain things.
Yeah.
We did start a little late.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I skip a few things, but maybe inferring. Let's see. Inferring basically what is the sentiment. So you can do things like, what is the sentiment of this product review, and you can give. It will give you one answer which is positive. You can be specific, could be either positive or negative. I'll just give you those. You can be specific in terms of a list of emotions that are expressed in this review, and it'll give you a list of emotions. Satisfied, pleased, grateful, stressed, happy. You can have like an anger detector. Is the writer of the review expressing anger? Give your answer as a yes or a no. No. You can extract product and company names. So let's say for the same, this is the item, this is the brand, and then multiple things at once. What is the sentiment? Is there any anger there that we need to worry about? What is the item and what is the company? And give it to me as a JSON. sentiment, anger false, item lamp, brand balloon. Thank you. I can store this and automate this in another workflow. Topic was another one. I quickly covered this. So this is like a NASA story. It's a made-up story, but something about survey.
Something about everybody loves to work at NASA. Nobody likes working at Social Security Administration.
I think that's yeah.
That's the story.
So what are the 5 topics? So government survey, department satisfaction rating, NASA, social security, job satisfaction. And then I think Andrew was playing around with this. Oh, can you have like a news alert for like certain topics? Maybe I want to subscribe to anything, about, I'm not going to say social security, say NASA. If this is mentioned, send an email or something, and this is I won't go through it, but that was the concept behind it of extracting a topic and doing something with it.
But I think that whole inferring section is just great examples of those 2 principles in action, being very specific about exactly what you want and spelling out the steps exactly as you want them, so that the model doesn't have to do too much logical reasoning on its own.
Then the other one, and I'll show you where we are here, so you have an idea. Transforming, expanding chatbot, quickly cover those. Transforming was interesting, and specifically translation. So translate the following English to Spanish. How I'd like to order a blender. Hola, Robert's in the house.
Me gustaría ordenar una licuadora.
Gracias. Thank you. And then tell me which language this is, and it will tell you based on the context. The language is French. Translate the following text to French and Spanish. English pirate. When the course was made, the GPT model had an English pirate, and we talked like pirates. When we ran it, it just gave us English. So
I noticed that also.
I noticed that too, right? Yeah. So I guess that's not there anymore, which means that this model keep getting updated. So if something was there last week, don't expect to be this week. They have frozen models though. They have frozen models with timestamps that they keep for a few months. So if you have like a very sensitive application that you don't want that to change, you can use that, or I guess use your own model. And then translate this to Spanish in both formal and informal. Would you like to order a pillow? So good. Albanian, I'm originally from there. Looks Albanian to me. So yeah, I can do multiple languages. And then I have some colleagues interested here who are joining us on this universal translator. So the scenario is this: you're in charge of a company that has sites across the country, across the world. People are texting about their issues. You're trying to determine what is the problem, right? So you're getting this user messages. La performance du système, huh? His friends. It's I don't know. It's not that good. Something in Spanish, Italian. You tell me. Polish, and Chinese. Yep. Korean. Okay. So number 1 is doing a loop. Tell me what language this is. Give me the original message and the language. Translate it to English and in this case Korean. Okay. So the language is French. This is the language, and this is the translation. Performance of the system is slower than usual. This is the same in Korean. The monitor, right? Spanish. My monitor has pixels that do not light up. Then el mío mouse no funciona. My mouse is not working. This one, control I recognize. My control key is broken. And that is Polish. And this one is Chinese. And my screen is flickering. Cool.
So how accurate is it in other languages? Like, is every language good to translate to, or is just certain languages are good?
Yeah, I think I saw on their paper maybe in translation language. Yeah, no, they're not equally good.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what they use on the back end to detect the language?
What they use in the back end to detect the language?
Oh.
that could be, I guess, supervised, right? They give them a lot of text in this language. That's all. This is Polish. This is Chinese.
Oh, so it's not an outsourced model, outsourced service.
Yeah.
Because I used to like call the AWS like comprehensive service like for work, and it usually fails when, you know, like for example, for like a foreign ministry account in like country that's not its own, that's not representing, you know, have like its own language and its host languages.
Yeah.
Language.
There you go.
The host country's language in like same line, and that will fall.
Yeah.
AWS
So
comprehensive.
English. Wait. Random guess. I don't know. What is this? I don't know what this is. So English, Italian, you know, Afrikaans, Spanish, German. It goes down the accuracy goes down this list as you.
Just less and less data to work with.
Yeah, probably that is true. Probably there's not a lot of
It's
text
just less data.
in Punjabi. I don't know, like Telugu, right?
But in German,
It's here.
German's at the top.
what
83%.
what is interesting is Afrikaans is better than
Yeah.
Spanish and German.
Right.
Like,
That makes sense.
Maybe the language is easier. I don't know.
yeah.
There's
a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of the Asian languages are near the bottom.
Yeah, maybe.
You notice that?
Even
Yeah.
Indonesian is better
Can we do a
than
map of this? Okay, next project. Okay.
Mandarin.
a harder language.
Right? Maybe Arabic or alphabet, maybe, yeah.
Alphabet, yeah.
Japanese, yeah, Korean. Because alphabet is also.
Well, Korean has alphabet like.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Okay, I don't know. 80s, 90s?
Yeah. It's still pretty good.
I'm gonna, you know, do your something very formal, but yeah, I mean, something not critical. I trust it. Yeah. Cool. That was translation. As you can imagine, you can use it in all kinds of applications. You might get reviews or you might get feedback from members across the world. Automatically translate it. You can also write in English and have it translate to their language.
That's what I do. I
Yeah.
use ChatGPT.
Translation?
But
Or translation.
I speak Spanish, so
Okay.
but the prompt I feel it works better with English. So what I do is I give the prompt in English, then I just ask them now translate it.
Oh, interesting.
And I only have to do that because
Interesting.
giving it in Spanish, it just
Not as
doesn't.
good.
It's not
Yeah.
good. No.
Does it
Not
work
even
well?
good, like not even close to good.
Does it work well?
Yeah, but when I do it like that, like give it the prompt in English and then hey, translate it in Spanish and it's perfect. The translation is perfect.
Nice.
Good at translating.
Good at translate or like I will assume just like the prompt is just better in English and then it just can give it's just good at giving it any language probably. I don't know.
There's probably just a lot more people training it with English language prompts.
Yeah.
It hasn't really learned how to parse, how to follow directions in other
Maybe all
languages as
that.
well.
Reinforcement learning, human feedback with some English
Yeah.
speakers.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Another major application here is people that have to read and summarize large documents. This thing can quickly give you a much shorter summary and decide whether you're interested in the document or not.
Right.
I do that with emails. Like on my past emails, I just put it there. I never read anymore.
Cool.
I love
It's
it.
just they are too long.
This is the opposite now. You're very informal and you love some help from AI to be a little more formal. Like, dude, this is Joe. Check out this spec on this
I love it.
lab.
I
You know?
love it.
All right. That's how I talk my everyday life. And translate the following from slang to a business letter, you know. Dear Sir Mayor, I hope this letter finds you well.
That's
My
what
name
I
is
always
Joe.
do.
I'm writing you to bring your attention.
Me too.
So
like,
specific- I mean,
don't like
seriously,
emails anymore.
Yes.
The prompt is
Such a
two
waste of time.
sentences, so look
Like,
at
it's
all this
hard also
beautiful
writing
letters.
It's good at generating fluff.
I think what it,
Like, it's
that's
amazing,
illustrating
like,
that business language is
it's
mostly
my
fluff and that the
you
slang and the shortened versions are much more efficient.
Like, the spots that I want to come in
Yeah,
because it's very
yeah.
convincing and like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the jump from informal to formal was really cool. I didn't try the opposite. I
10
didn't
times
try.
the size.
Can you convert this to slang? Maybe.
I did not try that.
in case you want to go the other direction. All right. Then translate between formats. So we have a JSON here, you know, restaurant employees, mail, email, and translate the following dictionary from JSON to an HTML table with headers and title. So it will take it, display a JSON, it will create an HTML, head, style, table, all the CSS, you name it, and headers, entries. Oh, look how cute it is. I might not look the best because I'm in dark theme, but this is actually an HTML table with name, email, and you can use it. Cool. Okay, in the interest of time, this is another one, spell check, grammar check. I had mixed feelings about this. So these are different sentences. Some of them have typos, some of them have grammar issues. So the girl with the black and white puppies have instead of has. This was okay. It's going to be a long page. Does the car need eats and eats? Homonyms could be typo there instead of there.
Oh yeah.
So you're instead of you are. Have you heard of the butterfly effect instead of effect? Yeah.
I think the first one is probably the most difficult one because like the black and white puppies have the ball would be fine. The girl and the black and white puppies have the ball.
Right.
The girl with the black and white puppies
Right.
has a ball.
Oh, please. Remind me of the attention all you need paper. Which sports do you pay
attention
to?
I think that first one is a tougher task.
It is. So proofread and correct the following text and rewrite the corrected version. If you don't find any errors, just say no errors found.
Nice.
Okay, so the girl with the black and white puppy has it all. Okay. Second one, no issues found. Third one, no issues found. I think there was an error here, right? It's changed. Yeah.
The it's should be it's, not the apostrophe.
There goes my freedom instead of there. Good. You going to your notebook. Oh, yeah, it corrected that. Effect. This phrase is to check ChatGPT for spelling ability. I think this was good, right? Oh, 1 L. Okay, 2 L's.
Did pretty good.
It did pretty well on this one.
Pretty well instead of 1. Okay. Now, if you really want to go, slang, I guess, or like, hey, let me tap it on my cell phone and proofread and correct. You'll actually proofread and correct it. And it will tell you, got this from my daughter on her birthday because, you'll say because, from my room, that was the same, and cute. However, he added a however there. I think he added believe on the positive side, so it added a little bit of context.
The red lines library was new to me there.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Just doing a diff, but I hadn't seen
It's
that
just a
before.
matter of time before this is in Microsoft Word.
Oh, it's coming, right? Yeah. So you import red lines and do a diff between the text and the response. Yeah. Cool. One more thing you're expanding. So let's see what are we doing here. So customize an automated reply to a customer email. You don't have to give the sentiment. You can extract it. But in this case, we're just giving it this review for a blender. Somebody wrote to you this paragraph. And you are telling it now to assume a role, right? You're a customer service AI assistant. Your task is to send an email reply to a valued customer. Generate a reply. You're supposed to generate a reply to thank the customer for the review. If it's positive or neutral, thank them for the review. If it's negative, apologize and suggest they can reach out to customer service. Okay. Use specific details, be concise and professional. Sign the email as a customer agent. So thank you for taking the time. We're sorry to hear about your price increase. You noticed we try to provide competitive pricing. Appreciate your feedback. We apologize for the inconvenience. Feel free to contact our customer service team. Again, thank you for the review and your loyalty. If you have any questions, I don't know if I was an angry customer. If I read this, I'm like, okay.
It's pretty similar to a lot of responses you see online.
Yeah. You think so? So we have customer agents? Yeah, customer agents? Okay. This one understands me a little. I was playing around with it, like, let's see, what did I change here? Apologize and suggest I reach out. You can fine tune it, you can customize it basically any way you want. But yeah, that was a good one. Cool. The last one, I know we're a little over time, but this was a really cool application, this chatbot. So the chat format, and we're going to tweak our function here a little bit. So we're going to have similar response, but then we will have another input, which basically will keep track of our conversation. So in the past, we used this version of the function, which basically takes a prompt, gives you an output, and that's it, you're done. In this case, we're going to have multiple prompts, multiple conversations with our AI agent here, so we want to make sure we keep track of that context until we run out of length. So we begin with the system. This is another row that we're going to see. And here you can be very, very specific. You're an assistant that speaks like Shakespeare, you know? And this is the first user input. Tell me a joke. The assistant will say, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" User will say, "I don't know." Okay, so then...
And there's an output there, right? Because the assistant comes back with the actual content after that.
So this is just the messages, yeah. So you pass this to this function here, and then
you get the output.
So yeah, so then why did the chicken cross the road? To partake in a daring quest, to join on the other side, you name it. So it speaks really good Shakespeare. Now we change the system a little bit. You're a friendly chatbot. Hi, my name is this, and it will address you by your name. Now, if you address it from the beginning, you're a friendly chatbot, you don't give it any context, and you ask it, "What is my name?" I'm sorry, but I don't have access to that. So if you give more context, so this is your chatbot, this is the user, this is the assistant, then you can ask it, "What is my name?" It will remember that. So this kind of guides you in the sense that if you want to have a conversation with your AI assistant here, you need to provide the context. You need to keep track of that context. This became very clear to this is the last example, this order bot. So this is just a function for us to collect all these messages back and forth. And this uses a little bit of UI. That's why you see this panel. But all it does is think of it as keeping track of user, role of system, keeping good track of them. And this is the order bot. So you're an order bot, an automated service to collect orders for a pizza restaurant. You greet the customer, ask for pickup or delivery, collect the entire order, summarize, and check for a final time if the customer wants to add anything else. It's for delivery, ask for an address, collect the payment, clarify our options, use reply in a short, concise way, and this is the menu. Different options, right? Different sizes, small, medium, large, pizza, pepperoni, eggplant, mushrooms, sides or toppings, AI sauce, really trendy, drinks, cool. So this is just, actually, if you don't mind, I will change my theme to light, because for some reason in dark mode, sorry, this is too bright. You might want to dip down your monitor a little bit. So yeah, this is a nice chatbot. You can interact with it. Welcome. How may I assist you today? And I think this was me. I'm looking for ice cream. Like, I'm sorry, we don't have ice cream. We specialize in this and this and this. And I'm like, and it's asking me, is there anything you'd like to order from there? And I said, what's the healthiest item you have on the menu? And it was pretty good. If you're looking for a healthy option, a Greek salad would be a great choice. It's made with fresh vegetables and light dressing. None of this was on the prompt, right? It just says Greek salad, and this is the price.
Yeah, and I tried similarly to ask it questions that were not really provided directly in the context, like, what are my best options as a vegan or something.
Oh yeah,
and it was perfect. Like it said, it selected exactly the topics that said.
So yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, I still have dietary restrictions, and I'll copy and paste a whole restaurant menu into ChatGPT and ask it, what can I have on this?
Does that work well?
Yeah, it actually does.
Wow.
So yeah, that's great.
Okay. So yeah, it's really nutritious. Would you like to order? And I'm like, no, I'm still, challenging you. What's the most expensive you have? It's eggplant pizza. $11.95 for small line. Yeah, I'm not sure the prices here make sense.
Yeah, I got that one backwards.
Right? Yeah. Let's look at the thing again.
It just said 3 prices, but it doesn't say small, medium, large.
Oh, because we didn't tell it, right? Or
Yeah.
no?
But when I ran it, it did it correctly. It said $675 small, $975 medium, 11.
So
Wasn't smart enough.
specify the sizes then, yeah.
But it's got there's a lot of variability in the answers that you're going to get back.
Then I said, I'd like to add the healthiest as well as the most expensive. Like, great. I'm giving it a hard time. I'm not being specific. So you'd like to order, it's asking me, salad and the eggplant pizza, just to confirm the size. Which size would you like? Yes, let's make the large one. Is enjoyed by many friends today. I was keeping this demo in mind. Okay, so you want the large eggplant pizza. Anything else? On a second thought, give me 2 of them. Okay, 2. I said 2 large pizzas from each of your offerings. That's what I wanted. This is where I kind of lost it. So like 2 from each of our offerings, which includes the eggplant and Greek salad. Just to clarify. Okay, this is where kind of lost me. I said, correction, I'd like 2 of each of your large pizzas. Pleasure and confusion, understand now. I like 2 eggplant and 2 Greek salads. It's still lost there. Yeah, I didn't. No, I want 2 of each of your large pizzas. It doesn't get that. Okay, I'm like, pick up, fine. I'll help me. I give up. I think it's trying to stay on my healthy diet. That's what I got. It doesn't want to give me 2 large pizzas. No, 1 large, 1 salad.
So I was challenging it on the delivery side.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't know my address. Let me go. And then,
really?
And then it said, well, can you tell me a description of the? And I said, well, it's the second to last red house on the street. And then they asked for, can you give us some more context to help us find the house? And I was like, well, we're the only house that has the snow shoveled today. All the other ones have the driveways covered in snow. But I think my neighbor's about to go shovel the snow, and it said, okay, well, fine.
I'm sorry about this, hilarious. What? Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It would continue to be very polite. It continued to. It did pretty well.
That was a human person. I don't know what they do. Like, sir, I don't have time for this.
Right. Oh, and then I think I tried to challenge it on, is it okay if I pay in pennies?
Oh.
and they said, we accept cash, yes.
Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, cool. So then the last thing you're going to do here is you will create a JSON of your, so create a JSON summary of the previous food order, itemize the price of each item, and it should be the item, the size, the toppings, the drinks, and all that, and the total price. So if you got everything right, 2 eggplants, that's okay, I guess so. 2 Greek salads, and my total price. So yeah, and that was the summary, and that was the cost. So I'm like, whew, okay, I'm good.
4%.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I can go crazy. Yeah. This was the tokenizer that we saw before. This was about the question about the pricing we asked and the tokens, and that was our fun GPT model here. That was a lot. That was a lot to cover. I hope you found that interesting, and I hope you saw, the pros, the cons, the limitations, creativity, the politeness. I like the politeness. So just follow you to the end. So yeah, questions, comments, feedback.
So I think a lot of folks have played around with ChatGPT, right? Everyone seems to. With this API interface, like how would you kind of the advantage, like obviously there's a lot of different capabilities that you get by interacting with it that way. I mean, how would you put it in a nutshell, like, the capabilities of, obviously we're going to build on this.
We will, for sure. I would say, really good at like the things that you saw, for example, translation, really good at that. Summarization, really good at that. Extracting things, content, product names, product IDs, really good at that. So I think in terms of the challenge of massive amounts of data and just scanning it, I think this would be a very good example for applications. You have gigabytes of text. You're just interested in the ones that fit your needs.
You have one example where there was a for loop, and it just you had multiple summarizations in a for loop, right? I mean, so putting it in building Python code or something where you call the API in different ways is sort of kind of a mix of using the generative AI along with just traditional coding. Could be powerful.
Exactly. Yeah. And the other thing is these models are really good also generating code. So if you don't know how to do something, you can say, can you generate a Python code for me that does that? What I want to ask it is, can you generate prompts for me? This is my task. Find me the best prompt to ask you to do this task.
Yeah.
It's kind of repetitive, but
I do have like some curiosity about this. About like right now it's okay about having engineers to do prompt engineering kind of thing. But like there has to be a way in which we can improve this prompt in automatic way.
Yeah.
Without you having to go like going back to the example that he did, I think was his name before he left. Like if you have like a list of articles, and then you want to like the model to be able to improve the prompt as it is reading the article. You don't want someone having to do it like, oh no, let me do it again. Like you don't want to use your employees for that. So I'm wondering like how to do that, like improve the prompt itself. Not just to change it, but improve it. Like as the data is getting in, just do it yourself, improve yourself.
So improve to me means there's a metric that you're trying to optimize and you're tracking so I think you have to define that really well. Like
I mean, I imagine it like kind of collecting all the prompts that was like used by a computer, and then or the response and the accuracy of the response, and then improving that the prompts, not the response, the prompts.
Sure.
In a way that you don't need to do it yourself manually.
Certainly, I imagine OpenAI is collecting all the data on what prompts are being used and whether people are trying again, right? And they might be using that to train models to improve the.
But is there a way maybe to take the model output and say, you didn't quite get it right, I'm looking for this. I don't know, an automated way, because you need a system to parse the model output. You can use the same model, I guess, but you have to have a very concrete task for it. Like in your case, you mentioned accuracy. So what is accuracy? You have to fully define it. Is it translation? What is it? Is it sentiment? Is it politeness? I don't know. Like what is the metric? I think that's the hard part, the qualitative part. It's not a number, it's not a traditional machine learning, minimize the loss.
Right.
It's a metric, you can measure it, you can do something with it, you can optimize it, you can minimize it. It's a text output, so how do you quantify it? How do you?
No, there are ways.
Yeah.
Like many ways. Like you just have to decide what matters to you, and then just see how you can be smart enough to create this model that can improve even the prompts that you're giving to them.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Automated prompt engineering.
Like doing it like I imagine this list is just a bell. You give me this idea. It's like I imagine this list of articles, and you just don't want to use the same prompt because maybe you just want it to behave differently because the articles are just about a variety of topics.
Right.
So like in the way when you're like looking at them, how you like at the same time like just modify that prompt, because when I say like doing it this way, like that seems a little bit manual, it just make it too rigid, and like the reality is not that rigid.
Yeah, if you're reading different articles from like different backgrounds, different contexts, maybe you summarize it first, you see what it is about, and then you have a custom.
And you
prompt
decide
for
what
each
you
one.
want from that article. For
yeah.
example, you might not want the same from like, I don't know,
Right.
something about food versus something about, I don't know,
Exactly.
the universe.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Then last slide here. So this is one adventure that we had. I encourage you to check out the course. We have a couple more coming up. This was as a result of me going through the documentation, the API reference. I came across some really good applications. So one of them is, we're going to do this later this month. Ask your company anything what I call. So this is a hands-on project. I'll share the code where you basically take your company data or your private, not private data, your public data. Again, I want to make sure it's public data. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to parse a public website. We're going to pull that information down. We're going to pre-process it a little bit. We're going to convert it to a format that is readable or ingestible and readable by large language models, which means embeddings. And then when we ask a question, we'll find what are the topics, what are the resources that are closest to my question. And you'll see the difference when you just ask a generic question to a large language model. When you ask a company-specific question to a large language model, you're like, I don't know. But when you say, this is a question, these are the relevant documents to my company, this is my question, and what is my answer? And it'll give you that answer. So in this case, we're going to parse the OpenAI website. It has about 1,000 links to the OpenAI.com domain. It's public. It's actually part of the tutorial of the documentation. Parse it, you store it, you analyze it, and then you ask questions. What is your newest model? You know, what are some open roles? What are some sample blogs? What are the top insights from your customer stories? So you're trying to summarize something they have on your website. Things of that nature. So yeah, that'd be a good one. And then
So it's kind of like a web scraping where you can just go to the website and, you know, instead of like coding it manual, you can just go to ChatGPT and, oh, I have the website, and you can just summarize the thing for me.
yeah,
It's cool.
yeah. The other one is on a very different model. It's called Whisper. So you have, let's say, a meeting. Like this one, for example, the transcript of this one. Let's say somebody wasn't here. They don't want to hear to the 1 hour long of us chatting. They just want to summarize it. So can we ask them, first of all, to transcribe it, summarize it, give me the top 3 key points, and what were the next steps? And send it to me as a Word document.
You can ask it a question. Did anybody say anything?
Anybody mention me? Was I missed? Yes, you were missed. Enter your name here. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, similar to, I think, the Kaggle courses, I think OpenAI has done exceptionally well job with, I'll go to their website, with these examples. So they have so many good examples. I love if we could quickly explore them, you know, go through them. Some of them are fun. Some of them are like, what the hell? Why'd you do that? Product name generator.
The emoji translate.
Some of them are like, what? Explain the code, or fix my Python bug, or give me sarcastic bot. That was you laugh a lot at that one. You know, some of them are goofy. Some of them are like, okay, this is my question. Write a SQL query for me. You know, pro and con. So yeah, we'll go through them. I really like them. So we'll go through one session through half of them. There's like 30 of them, and then the other one would be second session. So yeah, I have all of them here. I'm hoping to do those. So company ones will be online. I'm hoping the API ones will be hybrid. So check us out here in person or online. Welcome to. So yeah, that's what we have. And then maybe we'll do a project on this. After this, I think I like that idea of learning something, getting that knowledge, learning something cool that has to be done out there. I think that'd be a good opportunity for us. And then we do another course, do another project. But yeah, hope you liked it. Any questions, comments, feedback for people online? Appreciate you staying with us for so long.
So for today, that we are mostly focused on the prompt with the words, right? But I'm really curious, like maybe if you have any experience like how to generate code or like to find bugs, that I don't know, like for me as a developer, I usually use that, to find bugs and, or just create like, how to create, like, I don't know, like how to create this feature using, using Ruby on Rails or using Python or something like that. So yeah, like maybe we can have.
I won't spoil it too much, but yeah, you'll see one of these. Let's say I have one of these presets. So one of the presets is improved code efficiency, maybe. So I'll zoom in a little bit. So again, remember in the API, we had a system and a user. The system here instruction is you're provided with a piece of Python code, and your task is to provide ideas for efficiency and improvements. So this is the user, this is the function, and this is the output. So it's saying that this has complexity O(n) squared. I think we can make it O(n), and it's giving you sorted arrays and all that. I give it another input, give me another one. So it does that. It does code efficiency. It does. Is the bug anywhere here? Bug.
To use GitHub Copilot.
I'm sorry.
To use GitHub Copilot.
I don't really use Copilot.
It has a lot of issues.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it uses GPT-4 and I use it a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes up things that don't exist.
What do you do?
Writing code. GitHub Copilot. Yeah, it uses GPT-4 and it's yeah, I mean it's good. And it has GitHub Copilot chat now, so you have like chat or VS Code. You can like select code and ask it questions about the code, be like fix this bug. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it tries to use a library that doesn't exist.
Well, you still gotta use it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You still gotta.
If only this
check.
library existed. Yeah,
Make it.
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes it does things that don't work at all. But,
Yeah.
Does it learn from a mistake? Like, or
I don't know if it's learning in the moment.
No.
Yeah, but it's definitely useful. You just can't trust it.
Sometimes it gives me the same bugs.
Oh.
So, okay,
Like,
I want to fix
like-
bugs, but they give me the same bugs. So.
You'll see a bug fixer. You'll see a code efficiency. You see one on complexity, things of that nature. So yeah, all these large language models have been also trained on code actually, can generate code. So yeah, we'll see that. Cool. Okay. Thank you everyone for sticking with us so long. I appreciate you coming here. I'm going to stop the recording here. If you want to hang out here and chat more, happy to. But for those joining us online and on YouTube, thank you so much again. And hope to see you virtually next time or in person. Cool. Thank you.